I was gonna say a swamp.
Oh, like my least favorite body of water.
Well, I don't know. Like,
Jonesy and Ray, just wondering.
welcome back to Just Wondering podcast, where we will surprise each other with whatever topics come to mind. We literally know nothing and have made a rule to never research before recording, so buckle up.
We're your hosts. I'm Jones.
And I'm Ray. And Jones, I was just wondering about water.
Oh, I love water.
Yeah,
All the water.
Okay, friends, so we talked about water the other day. We recorded a podcast, but then we thought about it, and we don't think we actually talked enough about it. So we're back again to talk more about the things that we forgot.
And we're just going to edit it all together seamlessly.
Seamlessly. It's going to be seamless.
Yeah, water's great. I love drinking water. I love swimming in water. I like looking at water. But I don't prefer water that has sand beside it because I don't like sand.
Yeah, I think you don't like beaches because also it's like sand and sunburns.
Yeah.
Like two of your least favorite things.
That's probably true. I do love water. Like, I love looking at the ocean, and I like being in the ocean or, like, in the lake. But I don't want to walk through the sand to get there. So, like, lakes, I, like, very, very much prefer jumping off a dock. Except I don't jump because then the water gets in my ears.
So we forgot about a couple of really important aspects of water. So, like swimming. I think we might have talked about swimming a little bit, but what about the scary side of swimming, like drowning? I have never almost drowned because I'm very buoyant. That's primarily one of the like main reasons why I keep this body shape. Because I feel like it makes me float really easy.
It's just safer.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like to be in water. I could spend like 8 hours a day just like floating around. I'm very, very buoyant.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a whale.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I'm not a strong swimmer and I don't like swimming, so I usually tell people I can't swim because it's easier than just saying I really don't want to.
I love to drink water.
Yes.
It's my favorite beverage. I drink more water than anyone else I know.
I agree.
I do not like to be submerged in water.
I think I don't like swimming because I one time feel like I almost drowned at a beach. I was like jumping in the waves on a really like windy, wavy day. And I guess I kept getting further and further out. And then I realized like I wasn't able to get back to shore. And I was really scared, but trying to like still pretend like I was having fun. Like there wasn't a big deal or anything. Mm-hmm. But I made eye contact with my friend who was a couple years older than me. And I was little, so he was a lot bigger than me. And he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No." And he just grabbed my hand and pulled me back to shore. And now I'm like, I'm really scared of swimming. I don't think it's that fun.
Wow, I didn't know that. I never actually knew why you didn't like swimming. You learn something new every day, folks.
Did you know about drowning? You can drown and not die. We use the term drowning as like a term as like that person is dead. And we would say they nearly drown when they survived the incident. But actually drowning means that you just have water in your lungs. So you can drown and still survive.
Wow.
Honestly, I think water is pretty much a cure for everything.
Yeah.
If I'm tired, if I have a headache, if I have a sore throat, like anything, I just drink water. Mm-hmm. That's my first method of curing myself.
Yeah.
Also, salt water. So, no, like if you have a sore throat, if you
gargling salt water,
it's perfect. If you have a cut, you soak it in salt water. It doesn't get infected.
True.
The first cure is regular water. Second cure is salt water. And you just stay healthy and not injured forever.
Another thing we were talking about is float therapy.
Yeah, so we were talking about how water heals you, right? Like whether you drink it or whether you soak something in salt water, but also just overall it's a therapeutic treatment to submerge in water.
I've always wanted to try one of those float tanks, but I also think I might be a little bit scared because it's like you're enclosed.
What is your favorite body of water?
My favorite type of water is like a babbling brook.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very cute.
Near my parents' place, there's like a lot of parks with like creeks and stuff, and I would run there often. And to run there, like just around sunset, the way that the sun shines through the trees and hits the creek, like you can see it all sparkling and it just like travels along and it's so peaceful and so beautiful.
I think my favorite type of water is a lake, like a small lake, not big, bigger than a pond, but not like Lake Ontario.
You want to be able to see across the lake? Maybe?
Yeah, like see across the lake, nice, like clean water. I don't prefer to sit like on a floaty, like on top of the water, so I always get those floaties where you can sit in the water and it just keeps you buoyant and you just sit around and you drink beers all day in the water. That's the dream.
I 100% prefer the floaties that keep me out of the water and just get my feet wet. But one time I was sitting on one and a fish bit me and I capsized and then panicked and did not spill my beer, but my hat floated away and the floaty was floating away and I was like, can I touch here? Can I touch here? Where's the fish? And Nicole very calmly was like, are you hurt? And I said no, and she's like, then calm down. And I'm like, that's honestly like very fair. There was no need to panic, and panicking is way worse. Like definitely you should not be panicking when you are just submerged in a lake. That wasn't my best moment.
I don't like going in like really murky, muddy water because I don't like leeches. I don't want to leech. I'm sure no one. I had one like tiny leech on my foot once, but it was like it just got on there, so I could get it off like.
You didn't have to salt it?
No, I didn't have to like salt it to shrivel it up. But I can't spend a lot of time on like boats or on big rafts. And I think that that's probably also why I don't like floaties that keep me out of the water, because I get very seasick at the cottage. And we were on like a big party island floaty and it was quite wavy. And then I felt really, really like sick and nauseous. And then I was like, I mean, I'm sure that this is a mix between seasickness and a hangover. And then the party island that was on the water, it like holds like 8 people. But it's a couple years old, so it was already like kind of on the route of going out. And there's this like big mesh part in the middle. And I stood up, but it wasn't fully inflated because there was a hole. And I stood up on the mesh part and it opened like a trap door and I fell through it. I do love just like being in a pool. I prefer to be in a lake because I don't really like chlorine. The ocean is beautiful and I really love to look at the ocean, but I hate when salt water gets in my mouth or in my eyes, and it makes your hair feel like really, really bad, like
it does.
really bad. Yeah, I love just like being around the water. Sometimes it's scary, like I don't think I would never go on a cruise. I know that you don't feel like, a lot of people say you don't feel seasick when you're on a cruise, but looking at like the open ocean with nothing, like not being able to see anything on the other side is actually quite scary. If something was to happen, like I saw the Titanic.
What's your least favorite type of water?
Like musky water, like, you know, when you leave your water bottle in the sun for too long and then you go to drink it and it tastes like
turtle tank.
Yeah, like turtle tank, like your water bottle all the time. Yeah.
I was gonna say a swamp.
Oh, like my least favorite body of water.
Well, I don't know. Like, yeah, it was open to interpretation, so I can see.
I would say a swamp, because they're just like so busy and they usually smell, and also they probably have a lot of leeches.
And I think it can like suck you down or something. It seems like scary. It seems
like quicksand, like a swamp that has quicksand under it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all heard that song, "Can't go over it, can't go under it, gotta go, can't go around it, gotta go through it."
I'm not going through a swamp.
Well, the only swamp I want to go to is Shrek's.
Oh.
Yeah, I would go there.
Another thing that we forgot to talk about that is that are really cool and that we have a lot of in Ontario are waterfalls.
Yeah.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. Anyway, waterfalls are super cool. Obviously, we have Niagara Falls, which is massive.
Mm-hmm.
But then apparently there's also like 500 or something waterfalls in Hamilton, and I have never even seen one of them.
One time we tried to find a waterfall called Jones Falls and take a picture of Nicole falling down in front of the sign, but we couldn't find the waterfall. But also, so Niagara Falls, I think, is like a huge source of our hydroelectricity.
Yeah.
So something we also didn't talk about was that we can use water to produce electricity. Even like water wheels are pretty cool uses of energy.
The thing about it is that I have absolutely no idea how it works. I know that you can get energy from the waterfall, but I don't know how you harness it or like what it means or
I think it must go into a turbine. So same
Like
with
wind?
like the wind, yeah, it makes a wind
Okay.
turbine. And it collects the energy because like I guess it's like kinetic energy, I guess, right? Because it's from motion.
Yeah, that was never my area of science expertise. The same sort of idea of waterfalls and like not always where there's like a waterfall, but are dams,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
dams like hold the water back. Because we were talking when we were at camp how there's the dam on the lake, and so that's why the water levels go down so much from like the spring into the fall, and they just let it out. And then I wonder, like, because they're like, oh, they got to let water into the river. I'm like, where did the water go from the river?
Downstream towards the ocean, I guess.
But dams are pretty cool.
True.
Beaver dams cause a lot of issues though, so those dams aren't as cool.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just thinking about like beavers and beaver fever. But that's a real thing.
Beaver fever?
Yeah, it's a disease called Giardia, and you get it from drinking contaminated water. It gives you parasites, and it's usually in the spring after the thaw because all of the water and like snow rundown goes through the dam, and it picks up like feces from the beaver dams and stuff. And so if you drink the contaminated water, you get really, really, really sick, and you can die from it. Like you are almost certainly going to die from it if you are like camping in the wilderness and you drink contaminated water because you can't get to a hospital to be treated quick enough.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh, we were in the water and we were wondering, do you think that your hands and toes get pruny when you're in the water to help with better grip? Someone asked that. We were talking about that and how like that's what it's for, so that you can grip better onto things. Like if you're trying to like climb out of the water or something.
I don't know.
You get really like pruny
Yeah.
to be able to like grasp onto things.
I don't know if that's why.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. But someone was like really, really convinced when they were telling me that. And I was like, okay.
I feel like I can believe that.
So I was just trying to figure out like, what are you climbing in the water?
Yeah. Well, to climb out of the water kind of does make sense, but it's like, I don't. That's a weird question.
Yeah. I think my other favorite kind of water is the water they use to make beer.
Oh yeah.
Ray, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Gigante. I don't know. Gigante. Micro IPA.
I am drinking this
Ooh.
Morelli Keller
Morelli?
Hills. And we got this last week when we were at the Elora Brewing Company, and I saved it. It was my last one, but I saved it for this, so we can give them a shout out.
Cheers.
As you can see, we are out in the wilderness, and we went to a local brewery a couple days ago, Elora Brewing Company, and we bought a whole bunch of beers from them, and they were delicious.
They're so good,
We still want to give a shout out to
10 out of
Elora.
10 would recommend Elora Brewing Company.
Yeah. We would drink responsibly
That's it.
and excessively. Yeah, so let us know what your favorite body of water is, what kind of water you like to drink. Do you drink water? Because there's a lot of people that really don't drink enough water.
Mm-hmm. And do you think water has a taste?
I think that it does, because like you can drink water from different places and they do taste different, but it could just be like that there's different things in the water.
There's different minerals in the water. That is what it would be.
Maybe it doesn't seem like it has a taste because our entire bodies are pretty much water, so
True.
it just tastes like our own body.
Fair. You know what does taste different, though, is that you can taste the difference between soft water and hard water. I think soft water feels like spit in my mouth.
It has a different texture, but not a different taste.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So, yeah, because hard water, it's rougher, right? So, like, when you wash your hair and then you condition it, you rinse it out, it feels like there's nothing in it anymore.
Mhm.
But with soft water, it leaves, like, a film
Like
almost.
a residue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you drink it, you feel the residue also on your tongue.
I love water.
I love water, too.
Water.
So email us your answers at justwonderingpodcast.ray@gmail.com, And follow us on Instagram at just.wondering.podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Do it. Thanks.
Peace out.
Bye. I think that's a big thing, right? People. Uh-oh.
There was no warning on that.
Yeah, there's no warning.
Okay, a lot of people think that